Hello and welcome to the Animazing Podcast. This is the Explosion Man D. What are you guys? What manner of man are you?
Oh man, I did not think about this, man. I'm the New Year devil. I don't know, man.
The I don't know man. Gotcha.
I'm the I don't know, man, devil.
I'm the negative film criticism fiend.
Perfect. All right. And if you guys can't tell, we are talking about the final episode of season 1, hopefully season 1 of many, of Chainsaw Man. What did you guys think?
I thought it was not the best episode of the season, but a strong last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, there's a lot of things I like about it. So the final fight scene between Denji and Katana Man was really well done, really beautiful. Some of the, again, top tier CG animation from the part of Mappa. And from there, I think the whole railway fight scene was great. I think there's a lot of really good character interactions between Denji and Power at the very beginning. And I have mixed feelings about the ending sequence. Very mixed feelings. But overall, I think it wasn't the best finale, I feel, because this definitely feels like... This feels like the first half of a single arc. It doesn't feel like this was ever designed to be like a big finale kind of moment.
I agree that it's
that
probably
sense.
not the greatest finale, but I think it still works as a finale because they wrapped up the whole thing with the two villains. I like how they kind of went back to Aki kind of accepting Jimena's death and moving on. And I mean, I still stand by. I think it would have been maybe a better send off if we ended with the last arc, because there are some things that just kind of seem awkward here, but I think they did a good job of still making it feel like a completion of it and getting. I especially like the catharsis we get with Denji and Aki kicking the Katana Man in the balls. And then, be like, Himeno, do you hear this from heaven? We're fucking...
screwing this guy's nerds up.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my biggest complaint about this episode.
Uh-huh.
I wish they milked that moment so much harder. That whole montage of Denji, Power, and Aki just going shopping. That should have just been the montage of them just kicking Katana Man in the nuts. You should have had Don't You Forget About Me playing in the background. Denji and Aki are just kicking the nuts. Power walks in, joins in without context, and then Kobini shows up and just awkwardly starts helping out too. She comes out of her shell, goes through her character arc, and as you're dealing with all the Fallout stuff, each time it just cuts to them just kicking the dude in the nuts.
No, and then it ends where the camera pans up into the sky and we see Himeno's face in the clouds as she barfs onto the city.
Yes, exactly. They go full on JoJo and just show the cloud version of the character.
What are the chances, do you think, that that scene where they're kicking Katana Man's balls, that it was a low key a reference to Hunter x Hunter, and because he said he was this is a requiem to you, Himeno, and remember that part in Hunter x Hunter when they were when the Phantom Troop did that mass killing for revenge for Uvin. So I don't know. I feel like it's a really low key reference, but I could be crazy though.
I feel like the creator of Chainsaw Man would not have the attention span for Hunter x Hunter for some reason.
I think it's more of a reference to to Dennis's first interaction with Aki, kicking him in the balls.
You just call him Dennis?
Yeah, Reddit's been calling on Twitter, or Reddit rather. They've been calling him Dennis.
That's what he's called in the 4Kids dub.
Is he? I didn't really. Oh, is that a joke? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, sorry, what was I talking
Okay.
about?
This is a really small tangent, but it just came to my
Yeah.
mind. So, fun fact: there's a Chinese dub of Chainsaw Man, and they censored it by turning all the blood white.
That's fake. Okay, that's fake. We do not spread misinformation on here. I looked
That's
it up and
crazy,
it's
man.
fake.
That is wild. That is
Okay.
insane.
Thank
It
you.
is funny
Thank
though.
you.
It is funny.
What would that
Perfect.
even mean? What would that mean? Like, if you're censoring it by turning it white, what are you like? What is it supposed
Because
to
it
be?
looks like cum, okay?
They bleed milk. Okay.
They bleed milk. It's like in Danganronpa, except it's white instead of pink. Oh boy.
Like if they bleed Pepto Bismol,
Pepto-Bismol, yeah.
it's encouraging excessive drug use. But if it's just like white, then it's encouraging people to drink their milk.
It's so true.
Yeah. So, but what did you guys think about Aki's fight? I guess the end of Aki's fight with the Ghost Devil and Snake Woman, and how
I
that
think
played out.
I think it was a really great idea with very bad execution. I like the idea of like I really love the idea of the Ghost Devil's weakness being it has to smell fear to attack you, and I like the idea of like Aki being choked out. He's seeing his life flash before him, and then he just flashes back to a memory of Himeno telling him how to win, and then him using that to sneak past the devil and deliver the killing blow. But the whole scene where it just lets him go and hands him a cigarette, it just doesn't work for me. It feels like a hard cop out.
I don't understand that part either. That when the Ghost Devil handed him the cigarette, that was what triggered him to have the memory, right?
Yeah.
Or was that so? Does that mean that the Ghost Devil still had Himeno inside of it? Like some part of Himeno was still there, and that's what like got through. I guess that's probably what it is.
Okay, I have something to say about this. I think the show isn't really communicating clearly what's like happening here because first of all, like even Himeno's death, like it's unclear exactly what happened to her or like what it means for her to just like give herself to the Ghost Devil. And then also I find it weird, like I said last episode, that the Snake Girl even has control of the Ghost Devil.
Yes.
Because I thought like the Ghost Devil could make its own decisions and stuff like that, like we've seen the other devils do. Additionally, they never established to us beforehand that the Ghost Devil has like its weakness is it doesn't attack people who aren't afraid, which I feel like is untrue from what we've seen.
Yep.
Because like, would you say that the Snake Girl and Katana guy were necessarily afraid? It wasn't really set up properly, which makes the payoff not that good.
You know what the other worst part about that is?
Yeah.
Earlier, when they were fighting the Eternity Devil, they established that the Ghost Devil could interact with the physical world, but the physical world can't interact with it. So, like, there's a scene where it's choking out power, and she's trying to, like, wrench the hand off, but she just keeps passing through it.
Oh, you're right.
That power just disappears.
Wait, yeah,
And
that's
it could've
never.
been-
Oh my god, I fucking forgot about that.
Because, like, that could have been, if they just, like, made, so, if they, and I don't want to say like I'm fixing you or anything, this is just what I kind of feel would be nice to see. If they did something where, like, Power is trying to, like, is getting choked out by it, and she's just using her blood weapons to just try to, like, cut it off, but they just keep bouncing off it, they just keep straight, like, they can't even, like, damage it. It would make seeing the Katana Man and the Snake Woman, like, just taking it down like that way more impressive. And it would also show how strong Aki is, seeing how he can just cut right through it. But it has that intangibility ability, and it just goes away as soon as it's time for, like, Himeno to die.
Yeah, that's also like a good
maybe
point.
his
Yeah.
sword
Sorry, go on.
isn't his I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, but maybe his sword is special and it has like it's some it's also like I like a devil related object or something like that. I don't know.
That's
But
doing
the
the
other
writer's
thing
work for
is,
them. I don't. It's not established. Also, it's
yeah,
weird that even because they also don't establish that whether or not devils would be able to hurt the ghost devil, like other devils.
hmm
I mean, I guess it would make sense, but again, that wasn't really established. Which also, like, you could then argue. I don't exactly remember what like a fiend is like
hmm
categorically, but then why couldn't power at all damage the ghost devil? It's just yeah. I
yeah,
don't think they really set up Himeno's power as well, which kind of weakens like all the payoffs involving it. Especially with like I
hmm
don't even exactly know what happened to Himeno, like how she died, or even why the ghost devil still had the cigarette when the rest of
hmm
Himeno's stuff like stuff remained as she was teleported away. Like I don't know.
because again, that's the because it's just it's not clear what's going on. Because like, if I wanted to do the writer's work for them, I could say that she sacrificed her body to for the Ghost Devil to protect Aki, and then the reason it let him go was because it was fulfilling like Himeno's like contract. But why was it trying to like violently murder him? Why did it just decide to let go? And why did it decide to just give him a cigarette and stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
And
Yeah,
then
true.
like
yeah,
if Snake Girl is controlling it using the Snake Devil, which again isn't clearly established, how? Why? Because they show that. Because the interesting thing is they show it working similar to how the Fox Devil worked, where you just sacrifice the bit of your skin and it just attacks. And they did a really good job of illustrating like how it works in the first episode, where it's just like she sacrifices a fingernail and it comes out and attacks, which again is a really good bargain, by the way. Like,
yeah.
oh my god.
What did you guys think about the part when Kobeni shows up? It was like right at the end of the fight when Aki was like, "Don't kill her," and Kobeni shows up right behind Snake Woman with the knife to her neck.
Mm.
What did and then he asks Aki asks why Kobeni stayed with public safety, and I she said that it was because like a bonus was coming up. What did you guys think about that?
I kind of like that because it's in line with her character, and I love the idea of like as soon as she gets her bonus, she just quits and starts working at McDonald's after this.
I
So
I have a couple. Okay, so I do really like the scene with what Dee just said. Now that you like say that though, I am a bit confused how she even like was able to get behind her in the first place. Like,
she's just OP. I think that's like the thing.
she's the
'Cause she's
actual
Batman.
ghost devil because she's able to just phase through walls.
Yeah.
Listen, the blowjob devil is powerful, man. I'm just telling you.
Uh,
I know that's a gag, but I would love it if that was like an actual thing and a very like a super dangerous thing. Like it
sloppy
could just suck
blowjob.
up any form of matter into like the user's mouth or something like that.
Especially considering that it would mean people are scared of it.
they're scared of sloppy
It's a
blowjobs.
fear. It's a mass fear in society.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought that part with Koeni was a little bit weird. Like at first, when I read it in the manga, I didn't think much of it, probably because I was speeding through. But this time around, I thought it was a little bit weird because when you think about it, like her whole thing is how scared she is, right? Even though she's like really OP, she's all scared, and she was so desperate to get out. Remember during the hotel thing, and she just witnessed her partner die in front of her, and she already got her revenge. So to me, it's like, really, for a bonus, that's why you're staying. It almost, I feel like it's gonna undermine every other instance going forward when she acts all nervous.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't know.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. Like, she literally fought through an army of zombies just to get up there too, and Yakuza. So
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like personally, I'm just gonna ignore that because I feel like it's kind of there as like
The comedy moment.
kind of like as a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Also,
feel
I
like
love-
it. I feel like it just like probably Fujimoto thought that it had to be there because, of course, people are gonna be wondering, well, yeah, why would Kobeni come back after all that? And there had to be an answer. But I just think that was like kind of a bad one.
I do like one of my, well, I will say one of my favorite scenes in this was the scene between like Power and Denji in the elevator, where they just like hit the floor of all the zombies. Power just aggroes all of them, and then Denji just pieces the hell out.
Oh yeah, I love.
Oh, that's
that
a great
part.
scene.
Like, okay, but this part, I feel like it was so funny, but I feel like that's all just a distraction from the fact that really Power just keeps getting sidelined in fights.
Yeah.
Like in the last one, although last one she had technically a good reason because she couldn't do anything and it was in character. But really, if you just zoom out, she's not really getting any interesting fights so far. I don't remember what goes on later in the manga, but yeah, I feel like it was good. I like the scene, but also I want to see Power get in a serious fight.
That's the other thing. Like, aside from Denji, none of the other characters get any really like satisfying W's. Like, I
Yeah.
think Kobeni and Denji are the only characters who get like, damn, that was a badass moment.
Yeah, and I guess Aki to some extent. For me, I didn't say it, but for me, I thought the Aki Snake Woman fight was pretty good. I liked how it ended. Although I agree with the stuff about the cigarette and all that.
Yeah, I'm still kind of caught up with it. Like, it's just so, like, there's no, they don't give us any reason for why she's even like able to control it, or like, and especially with what Dee mentioned. Like, now, like, thinking back at Himeno's sacrifice, that makes like less sense. Like, that entire scene makes less sense. Like, with the whole, I completely forgot they established that you're not able to actually like hurt the ghost devil.
You know what would have been a really epic moment is if, as soon as they meet up with the Snake Woman, she's just missing an eye, and that's a signifier of like, oh shit, she made
a contract
with the Ghost
with
Devil.
Okay.
Yeah, that could have worked so much better.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys? So, did you guys have any thoughts about any thoughts specifically about the fight between Denji and Katana Man? Like,
Oh wait,
the
first can we
action and
can
all
we go
that
back to like Power, because I have a thought about that.
Oh. Okay.
I'm wondering if they're setting up that like Power is kind of like, she talks a big game, but she's pretty cowardly, or like doesn't really like, she says a lot, but she doesn't actually like follow up on it very much, because like the last like few episodes she just kind of like pieced out. Like, she didn't do anything, she just kind of left. Like, it's either that or it's like I just think they're doing really bad at characterizing her through the action scenes.
I would love it if the arc for her and Denji is just like learning the power of friendship, and then they do go with the whole like her always abandoning and running away from stuff, and then with the moment where like her two favorite pet humans are like in trouble, so she has to like stand and like fight and protect them kind of moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like that too. That'd be cool.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about Power. I just think that it's either they're setting that as their character, or they're doing a bad job at trying to communicate something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the weird thing about Chainsaw Man, because I can't figure out like where the writer's head is a lot of the time, because you can tell he's a really good, competent writer in my opinion, but it's like you said before, like there are some things he really wants to focus on, and there are other things that he just isn't as interested in, and I feel like it kind of shows a lot sometimes.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, you know how last time we were talking about how it feels like a lot of anime, like a lot of manga writers, kind of like have characters they like, but then quickly move on. I feel like they even do the same stuff with like Power sets too, like kind of like thinking, oh, it'd be so cool for the Ghost Devil, right? It can interact with people, but it can't. But then when it actually comes to like apply that to a fight, it's just like, why think it'd be cooler if the snake like chops off the Ghost Devil's head or something, you know? So I feel like rule of cool often like overrides any like kind of writing consistency sometimes.
Listen, like the rule of cool is essential, okay? That is the only rule of writing that matters.
You can have both. You could have good writing and like cool stuff. Just if anything, it's more entertaining when characters try to get around, like try to exploit the weaknesses of a pre-established system rather than just breaking it so you can have a cool scene.
Oh, totally, totally. Because like for me, I know that I've heard. I don't know if I brought this whole point of like over explanation and everything, but honestly, I like it when the characters explain what's going on because I like being able to understand like what are the rules and what are the limitations. So when they are broken, it's more interesting.
You can do that,
Same.
but like show it though. I mean,
Right.
like maybe like let's say with the earlier Himeno scene, like what if they couldn't like hurt it and they were getting their ass kicked, but then like that's when they instead like um realized that either Himeno was like killing herself by doing it or attacked her directly. Because they can't hurt the ghost devil, but they can hurt her, sort of thing.
Right. See, that would have been another really good moment where instead of her just like losing parts of her body, it is the kind of thing where the ghost devil is just wrecking them, but she's just bleeding out nonstop. So she
Yeah.
just ends up dying from blood loss instead of just the ghost devil like taking all of her body parts.
Yeah, or like maybe
Yeah,
even
that would be
like
interesting.
yeah, no, I agree. I can't. Yeah,
My writing is
Um,
brilliant.
So after Power goes on her rampage, uh, I liked that part. So when Denji and Katana Man like face off, like when Denji's in the elevator, right? That has to be like the most the most hilarious negotiation procedure I've ever seen because it's pretty much Katana Man is pretty much like let us kill you. Denji's like nah. Katana Man's like all right, well then I guess I'll have to kill you, and then they start fighting. Like that's literally what happened in the conversation. It's just like why?
If you don't listen up, if you don't let us kill you, we're gonna kill you.
Exactly, literally. That's what it was.
you have like two meathead characters going at each other, like, trying to do diplomacy, but it's just their brain capacity does not allow it.
But I genuinely just don't get it because he walks out of the elevator and Katana was like, hold on. We're not gonna fight. Hold on, calm down. Just hear me out. Let us kill you. and then Denji's like, no, what? And then he's like, all right, you're lost and we're gonna have to kill you now.
No, it's like, okay, Denji, like, let's kill you. No, okay, counter offer. Denji, kill yourself. Denji's like, okay, let me think about it. Pulls the chainsaw cord.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure how I want to feel about Katana Man, because I don't think I
Man's an
like.
idiot. I just
Yeah.
don't
So
understand him
fucking
at
dumb.
all. He's an
Like,
idiot.
I hate, like, okay, first thing, he's like, you killed all those people. How can you sleep with, like, live with yourself? He's like, they're fucking zombies, dude. They're
zombies.
already dead. Or, like, this is the same guy who just, like, who just cut through one of his own men just to, like, get a fatal blow in. Or, like, the dude, and he keeps trying to pull this whole, like, oh man, my grandpa was such a nice guy. You should feel bad about killing him. When it's just like, the motherfucker enslaved a 10-year-old child to do manual labor. He was literally open to him selling himself for, like, sex trafficking. Like, dude, calm yourself.
Also, like he just murdered like all of he just murdered like one of Denji's potential friends, plus like all the rest of like that organization, like that fuck, I forget what they call it, that
Division.
division, yeah. But that's the weakest part of this about this villain to me is his motivations are obnoxious. Like they're just annoying.
Yeah.
Like he's like, you killed my grandpa even though he made a deal with the zombie devil, and he's like, he was literally dead, so I'm gonna
Trying to
like
kill
kill
you.
you. Like maybe it would have made more sense if like maybe Denji did kill his grandpa because he was trying to kill Denji, or like I don't know, like because I don't really care about the grandpa either, so I can't relate at all to like what Katana Man's feeling, and his like demands are just obnoxious. He's like, oh, don't you feel bad when you kill zombies? And it's like, That doesn't mean like. Do you feel bad when you kill normal people? Like I don't.
Like, what are you even saying? Like, Katana Man just feels like a malfunctioning bot. Like, I just don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, what are you doing?
He feels like an NPC like glitched out and thought he was a main character.
Yeah, like,
Or what if? Okay, what if like instead of like Katana Man's granddad who like became a zombie and was killed, instead it was like when Dennis threw that car, like his granddad was in that car and it actually killed him. So that way, where
Or-
it's like it's understandable that he'd be mad at Dennis without like having to. It would actually like make sense, right? We would actually feel bad for him, but I don't know.
Or heck, you could even take it. I would say I would like to see it taken even a step further, where the granddad doesn't get turned into a zombie or the zombie devil. He just has a contract with him, and the contract means he gets a zombie army. And then after like Denji just gets done slicing through them, he has hey, I have an idea. If I kill you, I won't owe you shit. And he just kills the granddad straight up. And the other thing is, he keeps talking about how his granddad was such a great guy. But I'm just saying, like, great people tend to not have zombie armies.
We also don't see any
Just
of
a
that.
hot take.
Like we don't really know his grandpa at all. Like we don't know anything about him. So it's like it's such a weak villain motivation. Because like also
that's the thing.
like I don't like it would have made more sense if the reason why that these guys are with the Gun Devil and are trying to kill them is due to a mistake of our characters. Like that I think makes a more compelling villain. It's kind of like in Batman where like some of like or like some of the villains are like direct causes of him or like his dad's like company or something like that. But like here it's just like it's such a weird fucking motivation. Honestly, they would have been better if he just didn't have a motivation. It was just evil or something, you know?
Honestly, if he was just like, you killed my granddad, I'm getting revenge, have a good day, it would have been fine. But the fact that he just keeps going on and on and on about it, the fact that he tries to have a three-dimensional character makes it worse.
Or what if like
It's like, know your place, man.
what if the Katana Devil has a piece of the Gun Devil in him, and like he can't get it out, but the division wants to kill him anyway, like because of that, and then like that's why he hates them instead. Where it's like not his fault, but also they need it to kill the Gun Devil. So like, I don't know. It's just this weird half-assed attempt to give him reason to hate the main character. It just falls flat because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Also, I can only imagine. I'm really curious to see what the implications of this whole fight scene is going to be, because, like, if you can just like shove a devil inside of a human's like body as like a organ replacement and get that good results, why aren't they doing that for all of their troops?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that's a good point.
Just
maybe
like
the devil has to be willing.
Yeah,
I could be wrong though. Maybe.
To be fair, we didn't even know what the Katana Devil's like. We just kind of know the result of it, I guess.
I hope the Katana Devil was like a little dog, like Pochi, like Pochita.
Speaking of that, something that came up in my mind while I was watching this episode is, do you think the reason Denji doesn't feel bad about like all the deaths that are happening around him is because like, do you think it's because he has the devil heart now, or what? Do you think he would have already been the same before that?
I think he would have been the same, because think about it, like the thing with Himeno was he knew her for like a day. Like I would feel like if a person I knew for only a day died suddenly, I would feel a little bad, but that wouldn't shake my life up tremendously.
You would feel something like if you met someone and they were like, they said they want to be your friend and they were like decently nice to you, even though they like fucking barfed in your mouth. Like I think you would still feel like, damn, like I just knew them, right? And then now they're like gone and they were like wanted to be my friend, or like even feel bad that like Aki's like very close friend also died. Like you can feel sorry for someone who like had a loss, but like how they explained it in that scene was he just didn't feel anything, and like he even said like the reason he gives is that it's because of the chainsaw devil now and is like replacing his heart or whatever. Like that's the reason he gives. So I mean,
I think it's a little mixed too because like if you I feel like his explanation and his actions are two different things. Like if he really didn't care, he wouldn't have he would have just barged in to get his manga when Aki was having a moment, or he wouldn't be like sitting next to him waiting for him to wake up. I feel like
Or kicking Katana Man's balls.
yeah, like he
Yeah.
specifically mentions like him doing some bullshit with killing Himeno, and he is actually seeking retributions for it. So I don't think like if you look at his actions, it doesn't seem like a person who just doesn't care. Like he does care, but he doesn't seem like he's letting himself get hung up on that.
because he also saved Power and got her cat when he didn't need to. Actually, no, he did for
Yeah.
boobs. Sorry, forgot about that.
Yeah.
But he does like he looks out for civilians though. Like he isn't like I'm just gonna kill every single thing in my path, no matter what gets in my way.
Yeah, and that'll be like a fun thing for them to explore because I feel like they should do something with Dennis, or else he's going to be kind of start to become tired.
One note.
Yeah, like one
Yeah.
note. One note man.
Well, so what do you guys think about I guess like his like the results and the fruits I guess of his training arc? Because
There were
when he was
fruits?
fighting, I think so because I think so. I think the idea from his fight with Katana Man is that he lost his first fight, he had his little training arc, and now he's back for round two. And even Katana Man, when they had their first round in this episode, he was like, "Oh, you've gotten a little better when when they're in the train." And then I think the idea is, did he have the leg chainsaws before or no?
No, so okay, I want to say this. This
Because
is probably,
I think he developed that. Yeah. Go ahead.
it's funny. So I remember I was saying how Bleach had one of my this recent season of Bleach had one of my favorite training arcs. This is easily the worst because like
I
the
agree.
entire training arc was just like Denji getting his ass kicked, and now
Yeah.
he's just like, haha, nah, I have chainsaw feet now.
Did he learn anything to get the chainsaw feat?
Well, okay, so yeah, I think it's just a matter of like we're just supposed to understand that through the training that he was doing over those few weeks, he got the ability to have leg chainsaws, and I guess this was like the reveal of it.
They should have established that in the training arc, though. Like, there should have been a moment where, what's his face, like, did something, and then Denji like suddenly has chainsaw, like he learned how to do
Well,
it, right?
Yeah, and I should also say that I could just be wrong about what I'm saying, but I think it's a pretty good interpretation of it. But yeah, I could also just be wrong about it. Who knows?
I just don't think that there was enough of the. I don't think the training arc justified like him being like his. I don't think he did anything particularly in the episode that was any like better or that's like tied to like what his training was. It's like
Yeah.
like it's almost
When-
like if you're just like leveling up in a video game, like your stats get better. Like that's the way they're like treating it here, where it's just like, yeah, he did some training, so that just means he's better now. But even though his training, like it would have been honestly, it would have been funny if Power and Denji did the same technique they did on, I'm fucking forgetting his name, but it like works this time.
See, it's weird because I remember I was watching. I started catching back up on like My Hero and going from them just like showing every step in their journey, every single like mental leap they take to level up their abilities. Meanwhile, Chainsaw Man is just like chainsaw go burr, leg go slice. I keep saying this, but like Chainsaw Man is too fast paced. And usually I like it when things are moving, but there are a lot of moments that could have been stretched out to give a lot of things more weight and more meat to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I feel like if I just take an overall look at this arc, the story purpose of the arc is probably to set up Aki's story. I guess, or like to. I feel like this is really about Aki, like just to
Yeah.
tell you who he is and like where he's coming from in his journey to kill the gun devil. but also it's to introduce the Gun Devil, because at the end of the arc we get the big reveal about how all of this was really connected to the Gun Devil, and the fact that the Gun Devil is after Denji's heart. So, and I think this is also part of the reason why they ended the first part here, is because partly like from here on out it's going to be, you know, going deeper into the Gun Devil storyline. So yeah, I feel like all of that is to say that the thing with Denji and his training arc, I feel like that's kind of almost just like not a distraction, whatever the word is, just like filler, maybe. It's weird to say filler, but like, you know,
the
just
B-plot.
it's there because
Like-
to give something to, it's really there to give some Denji something to do while Aki has his story. I feel like, you know, I feel like that also explains why Katana Man is so trash.
Wouldn't it make more sense for Aki to go after Katana Man then, or? I mean, I guess it's hard to determine which one was the main bad guy, but
I mean, the one who killed Himeno
was the snake. Yeah,
was Snake Woman. Yeah.
You're right about that. It just you're right. I think these past couple episodes did a lot more for Aki than Denji or Power. I just still don't think that's an excuse for. I feel like they had perfect setup to like give them like growth, but they just didn't do it. Like what if Power, like, to get rid of the horde of zombies, like brought in like bottles of blood or something and threw them and used the blood to like wipe them all out, like kind of like similar to what she tried to do to the guy who's scarred and who tried to kill them.
Wait, but why would she do
Kate
that?
Show, I think.
Huh?
What reason would she have?
No,
to
I'm
do
just
that?
saying, like, utilize something that they learned in the training arc,
okay.
so that there's like a little bit of like they're thinking more smart, like more smart about how to use their powers, so that or set up in the training arc something that happens in this episode. That way we get like a little bit of payoff, because like I just don't think the two are necessarily like correlated very cleanly.
Because that's the other thing, like, out of all the characters, Aki is the only one who ever went through any growth or character development, it feels like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so, but he's one of the few, so I can see why it seems like it.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to move in to talk about the end of the episode?
I'm good.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna move into. Oh,
All right.
one more thing. That whole scene where they're cutting off each other's limbs reminded me of the Monty Python scene with the Black Knight.
Oh, I haven't seen Monty Python, so.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think about the ending, by the way? Like how they, you know, connected the ending song into the actual ending of the episode. That's really I've never seen that. I've never seen the ending actually be part of the actual plot of the episode.
It was very beautiful and very well executed, but it should have been them kicking Katana Man in the nuts. Oh my god, it would have been so perfect.
Just a loop, just like an
Yeah.
infinite Tsukuyomi loop of.
No, they like come back like different parts. They go out shopping and like have a meal, and then they come back to kicking his nuts again.
Yeah. They're sleeping in the middle of the night. They wake up at 2 a.m. Oh, time to go kick him in the balls.
They just go over to the prison and just kick him in the nuts.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Denji's dream? Any theories about that?
So, it's very interesting. It's very interesting because, and this is going to like me talking about the differences between the dub and the sub. So, in the first, for the first episode, when we first hear Puchia talk, the dub and the sub both have different tones to that moment. The way the Japanese actor does it, they sound cute and friendly, but they have this slight sinister undertone to it. When you listen to the dub, it feels the voice actor plays it very more soothing, more calming, more caring. Like this is two best friends about to say goodbye. A friend like giving one more favor to the person they care about. And I honestly feel like the dub handled it a lot better because when you have this moment of like this super like menacing sort of eerie kind of creepy kind of tone, it contrasts the first moment really well. Like I think having the sinister undertone in the first episode takes away from the moment a lot, I think.
You mean the sub version?
Yeah, subversion.
So, man, I really want to comment on what you just said, but I'm doing it. I know stuff, so I can't. But yeah, that's interesting.
Manga
though.
reader.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I kind of wish we got more
Okay.
between, like, earlier we got more between Denji and Pochita, because for as like iconic as Pochita is for like the show, I feel like I mean I don't know, I just feel like I agree with D, where I think it's kind of moving. It moves very fast. Like it feels like we missed an entire like couple episodes with the grandpa for us to care about him, or we missed like some episodes with Pochita to like better establish what Denji was doing before, like other than just being, I guess, like starving all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
So as for the thing with Pochita, I don't think it'll be spoiling anything to say this because I think that it's intended to actually seem the way it is in the Japanese version. Like I think it's intended for you to come away thinking there's something sinister, and I didn't know the dub did that, but like I feel like the dub actually went wrong if they made it sound like that, if they took away the sinister aspect, because I mean, really, the whole reason I asked the question is because it's going to lead to big stuff later on. So I feel like it's actually pretty important what people come away thinking from the scene. So I didn't realize that. Yeah, that you saw it that way. That's pretty interesting.
Honestly, that's the thing though. I like that they don't keep the sinister undertones, because when stuff starts going off, it's more of a shock to you. Like in the dub, you immediately know something's going on. That's always in the back of your mind. But when you have this whole warm, cutesy, things are so great, this is so sad moment, when you start having those sinister undertones start creeping in, it gives you a much more unsettled like feeling to it. Like, oh my god, our cute little chainsaw potato, has he been being bad? Oh my god.
Yeah. And actually, this just reminded me of one thing, which is going to be the last thing I have to say on the episode. It's a question to you guys, because so last week, last episode 11, when what's his name, the future devil, when Aki made the deal with the future devil, and the future devil was like, I'm gonna do this because your death is going to fucking rule. Apparently that was a mistranslation, and it's actually supposed to be your death is going to be like the worst. And it's a very important it's a very important what's it called, distinction. I didn't remember it because I don't remember how he died in the manga, but people who read the manga who actually remember it are saying that you definitely should be coming away with that translation of like your death is going to be the worst. So yeah, just wanted to tell you guys that and see if does that change your thoughts about it at all compared to last time.
So it doesn't really, because again, this is a entity that thrives off human suffering and fear. So I think him saying that something's going to rule is going to be very horrible for a regular human.
I agree. I totally agree.
Also, I hope I hope it's just like comically anticlimactic. Like he's just like taking a dump, and then all of a sudden the sword demon just gives him a heart attack, and he just craps in the toilet.
It's funny because I'm actually so curious, because everyone who's read the manga is saying that like you really shouldn't come away with it with the translation of it rules. But like to me, I agree with what you said. I think it rules is actually better because it like takes into account the personality of the person who's saying it, and it makes sense that he would think it rules. But I could be wrong, and it actually could be very bad to come away thinking that. So I don't know. I'm actually excited to see how it's going to turn out, since I forgot.
Yeah, because when he said your death's going to rule, I definitely didn't like picture like him surrounded by all of his loved ones, like him peacefully dying in his sleep in the arms of his best friends. No.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you could also assume though he like kicks ass before he dies and like
Yeah.
like kills like a bunch of devils, or he like explodes in a blaze of glory. Like that's how I could see like someone misinterpreting that if he's just like, oh no, your death is gonna really suck. I feel like that's definitely like a more clear translation. So I can see why people are saying don't come away with like it rules. Especially since I don't think we fully, because we've seen like devils that are like kind of good. So like it could still be, it could even though like it could be safe to assume that he says it rules as in he likes it because he enjoys suffering. I don't know if that's clear enough. So I think that's why people are probably like saying that. But I did not know that. So now I do.
Honestly, when I think about like his definition of rules, it really recontextualizes his like "future is awesome" line too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's true. That's a good point.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Do you guys have any other thoughts about the episode?
I'm good. When season 2, Mappa?
I think July actually.
I really
think
hope.
it's already been announced for either June or July. I could be wrong though. I remember
I
seeing
hope,
that.
because like, I wish Mappa would just be like, okay, we're doing Chainsaw Man, we're doing
Oh, never mind. That's
Chainsaw
Bleach. I
Man,
confused.
Attack on Titan, and Jujutsu Kaisen, and that's it. I wish they would just focus on those 3 shows instead of doing every freaking show.
I don't mind as long as they can, and I mean,
They don't kill their
I would
animators.
say, I would say as long as they don't kill their animators, but you know.
Yeah, can we get a
that's
wellness check
given
on them,
pretty much.
please? Can someone make sure that they're like able to walk still?
Like, I keep picturing like this one like animator. He left out for work, told his family back in like 2010 that he was going to work on the next season of Attack on Titan and be home later like that night. It's year 2022 and he still hasn't come home because they just keep giving him more projects.
Bro, imagine his kids sitting there saying 4 times, 4 years in a row that it's the final season, thinking their dad's gonna come back, and it just hasn't happened because the final season keeps happening over and over.
He's like hooked up to like a bunch of wires and like has like tubes feeding him. With his eyes
like,
held open to make sure he never takes his
just,
eyes off
like-
the screen. Yeah.
There's just one kid who's just really desperate for the final season of Attack on Titan because that's the season his dad finally gets to come home.
Yeah, that's the deal they made with him. But like, you can't ever stop if Attack on Titan never ends.
God.
All right, any thoughts on the season as a whole?
Really, really good. So, collectively, I think Chainsaw Man is a really good show. I think it is definitely the first like quote unquote classic anime series we've gotten since Attack on Titan so far. And my criticisms still lie in the fact that the world is very underdeveloped and kind of not as interesting. B, things are a little underexplained. And C, Denji can be a slight hit or miss character. But I think the vibe of the show, a lot of the action scenes, and I think just the show has such a very interesting, unique feel, coupled with how great the animation is, that I think this is a very good anime. I think it's probably my show of 2022.
Oh, nice. Okay. Matt, any thoughts
Um,
about the show as a whole?
I saw a.
Or, I mean, just the episode?
Oh, I mean, I guess I should go over the show and then explain the ratings when we get there. I saw a video essay recently where they talked about the concept of rather than like expanding your world, first focusing on like getting deeper into what's already established, and that's often going to make like the rest of it a lot stronger. And I feel like a lot of anime, and including Chainsaw Man, has this problem where they're so worried about expanding, introducing new characters and concepts that they don't spend a lot of time with the stuff they already have, which makes like certain moments, like character deaths or payoffs, a bit weaker in that regard. So I think Chainsaw Man is like a really good anime, but I don't think it, like for me at least, rises above like the normal critiques I have regarding the genre. Although it does like do a lot of cool, new, interesting stuff. I just kind of I'm still excited to see where it goes, and I do really like this show. But yeah, that's my thoughts on like at least the start of this. But it's really hard to tell because we have such a small snippet of it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, also animation incredible. It's insane that they have like unique outros for all of them, and honestly, the ending like outros add a lot more to the characters that the show doesn't. Because like it'll show like scenes of the characters just hanging out and vibing. Oh, that's also the thing I forgot to mention. I really like the interaction when Katana Man and Denji were just on the train, like talking about their motivations, and he's just like, oh, "You're fucking crazy," and they just like go back to fighting. I like the like little character moments like that, and I always like it whenever they do stuff like that because it just fun to see characters acting like themselves and seeing like them talk like that.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you guys said, honestly. I think the art was really good, and that was probably one of the things I was most worried about going into the season was how well they would be able to. Pretty much, I was worried that they would try to be, in a way, too faithful to the manga, and I'm glad they weren't, and they like were pretty unique, but still, still managed to keep the same tone. So yeah, art animation was really good. Music was really good. Openings and endings, just unbelievable. Like the fact that they did a different ending for every episode is just crazy. Characters, best part about the whole series. I feel like you guys have talked about a lot of the weak points, and I've talked about some weak points throughout the episodes. But I feel like the thing that gets everyone to the reason everyone loves this series so much is because of the characters. Like every single one of them is so good. And yeah, I do agree though that it moves too fast. They introduce too many characters too fast. World, like I feel like the atmosphere of the world is I don't really like it. I don't like the darker atmospheres,
Well, it's not well
or like
thought
the less. I didn't say it wasn't thought out.
Okay.
I said it was like darker, and I guess I don't like atmospheres that are like I guess a little more depressing. I don't know how to explain it, but I do like the mystery aspect of the Gun Devil. I know, especially you, Matt, you didn't necessarily like that much, but I like the fact that we don't know much yet about the Gun Devil. We have some weird clues about what he's done, like how he killed Aki's family in such a weird way, and the fact that he wants Denji's heart, like these things are interesting. The fact that he's able to control so many people, so I like mystery, and I like the fact that the mystery's tied to like the main villain that the story's heading toward. So yeah, overall, I mean, I really liked this season, and it's not a surprise because I already liked the manga before, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the next part. I'd probably give it overall this episode. I would probably give it like 7.5, and then overall the show I would probably give it, or at least this season, I would probably give it like an 8.5.
Same. I would give this episode a solid. I want to say I'll give it an 8. It has a really great action scene. It has a very good bit of mystery and a nice wrap up, but I think the point of it, like it ending like right here, does feel a little hollow. So that's the only thing I would really say to detract from it. But overall, I think this is I give it a 8.5 out of 10 for the entire show.
Yeah, and I probably, it's funny, I probably would have given it that score before we did the review. But after talking, especially like talking about all the Katana Man stuff, yeah, it went down.
Honestly, almost a similar, like just the fact that Dee brought up the thing about the ghost devil still like fucking with me.
You know the other worst part about that is,
Yeah.
like, they're doing a mystery aspect of it, but if they're just that fluid with like how the powers and everything work, I'm really worried that they're going to do something where they try to set up the character's powers being one thing, and they just go a complete 180 when they make the reveal.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm worried about future inconsistencies, considering the ones that this one like set up already. Like, you barely had this concept, and within the span of like a few episodes, you already broke it, or like didn't explain it well enough to where like we couldn't appreciate how the villains got around that like limitation. But as far as like a rating for this episode, I think I'm gonna give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Like I like it and I enjoyed it, but I still I feel like I need to be like a little bit more like those things did bother me, especially now that we're like talking about them. And honestly, I wish the entire season, I wish it was focused like more on character and more on, I wish it was like hyper like focused on building up the characters and their relationships before like moving on. It feels like they jumped the gun devil way quicker than they should have, which is odd because normally I find anime to be like dragging their heels along the entire time, but this is one where I'm so like interested and invested that I really wish that the moments that I think have like a lot of potential were a lot better than they were if they just like gave that more time to breathe. But instead they seem more interested in moving the plot along, say goodbye to these characters, here are new ones, fuck all the other stuff you learn, we're gonna keep moving forward, right? And no matter what like writing we have to plow through, we're just gonna keep on going, which is like a little bit like annoying and discouraging, but I'm only like annoyed and discouraged because I like the show so much. So like overall, I would have to give it like a 7.5 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10.
Super down with that. Super down with that.
Yeah.
I think it could go up if they do a lot better later on. It's just there was so much potential here that it would be mean for me to say it was wasted. I just think it could have been even better.
My thing is, if the script for this had like one or two extra drafts on top of it just to polish it out more,
Yeah.
I think it would have been way better.
We needed some more. Again, I still feel like the show missed like an arc in between the entire division getting killed. Like I would have loved to have spent time with the division, with the characters of the division, learning more about each of their like powers a bit more, so that like it would have been great if the season ended with them like Denji and us getting comfortable with that, and then they all get killed off. Like, that would have been such a better ending. And so then the audience is like, okay, this is really one of those shows. It would be like like the first episode of Invincible, but for like an entire season.
Yeah.
It would have been neat.
Yeah, true. All right, so yeah, that's been our review of episode 12 and the season of Chainsaw Man. It's been such a, I mean, like, this is probably one of the best shows I reviewed. That and Bleach. And next up will be, don't know when yet, but next up will be JoJo Part 6. We already did the first part of Part 6, but we still have to do the next two parts, so that's coming up. Don't know when yet. And
Joe Bros are going to make a return.
Yeah. And Matt will be joining, I think, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's going to be a similar Bleach situation where I'm going to like only know Part 6, so stay tuned.
I mean, it'll be
way better than Bleach, because like a lot of the parts in JoJo's are pretty like self-contained.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Considering they have like a new like protagonist cast each time, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So tune in for that whenever it happens. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.